All right. Thank you all so much. This is really exciting. This has been a long time coming. We have a very special guest that is joining us today, and it's my honor to introduce. Can you move to the next slide, Donna? Thank you. It's my honor to introduce Lieutenant Governor David Toland. He is the 52nd Lieutenant Governor for the state of Kansas and also serves as the Secretary of the Kansas Department of Commerce. A seventh-generation Kansan, Toland was appointed Secretary of Commerce by Governor Laura Kelly in January 2019 and Lieutenant Governor in January 2021. As Secretary of Commerce, Toland has led Governor Kelly's efforts to transform the Kansas economy, directing a top-to-bottom overhaul of the state's lead economic development agency, that's us. His efforts at Commerce have included rebuilding its in-state, domestic, and international business recruitment teams, launching the state's Office of Broadband Development, reestablishing the Kansas Main Street program, designing and implementing the state's new economic development strategic plan, the Kansas Framework for Growth, and shepherding passage of the largest economic development legislation in Kansas history, the Apex Megaproject Bill. These efforts have resulted in back-to-back record-breaking years for Kansas economic growth, including 2021, when Kansas had the most private sector investment of any state in the country on a per capita basis. Prior to joining the team at Commerce, Lieutenant Governor Toland was the first CEO of Thrive Allen County, a nonprofit in his hometown of Iola, and previously worked as an appointee of Washington, D.C. Mayor Anthony Williams, holding key leadership positions in the D.C. Economic Development and Planning offices. He holds both bachelor's and master's degrees from the University of Kansas. Toland and his wife, Beth, an early childhood education specialist at Allen Community College, were married in 2001 and have 2 children. We're very excited that you're joining us, Lieutenant Governor Toland, to talk a little bit about registered apprenticeship, your vision, and the direction that we're really going with this program overall. So with that, I will pass the keys over to Lieutenant Governor Toland.
Thanks so much, Shonda. And listening to my bio, one change I would like to get made to that is that we need to add the department's new focus on registered apprenticeships as one of the things that we've gotten accomplished. So would you please reach out to Corey after this and make sure that that gets updated by the comms team? I would appreciate it. So
yes, we'll do.
I'm hoping for a conversation today. I like to be as casual as we can be in this kind of format. And so my staff prepared some work-related jokes. And it's difficult to do jokes on this, through Zoom and whatnot. But I'm going to try. So please don't groan too much. If you do, I can't hear you anyway. So here's what I got. What kind of computer sings the best? Adele. How do trees connect to the internet? They just log in. Why did the man quit his job at the donut factory? He was fed up with the whole business. All right. Thank you for those of you that put little laughing emojis on there. For everybody else, I'm so sorry. I didn't write them. They just give these to me. So it's great to be here. I've been looking forward to doing this dinner bell call. There's so much buzz around these dinner bells, both as tangible things and as gatherings of people. And I've actually got a dinner bell that's been sitting on my counter outside of my office, just down the hall from where I am right now. And so I'm really happy to be here. And I guess I should start by thanking all the RA partners for recognizing the value of apprenticeships and realizing that it provides tremendous benefits to both the workers and the employers. What we're talking about is addressing skills gaps and preparing our workforce to meet industry demand across a wide range of fields. But something that's really, really important to me is that RA programs, the RA program helps us retain educated talent in Kansas. It gets our young people connected to good jobs right out of high school or right out of college. If they get connected, then there's less likelihood that they're going to go to Dallas, they're going to go to Denver, they're going to go to California, they're going to stay in Kansas. And that has to be a priority of all of us. And so what this does is strengthen our economy, and it particularly makes a massive impact in rural communities like where I'm from in Iola, where having that skilled talent pipeline is what keeps not only businesses strong, but the community as a whole strong. And so that's why we're working really hard and aggressively to elevate and expand the work of the Kansas Apprenticeship Office to make sure that we're better meeting our partners' needs, but also growing the program as a whole and more RA opportunities across Kansas. The first step in making this happen was to build out a full and diverse set of appointments to the Kansas Apprenticeship Council. And we've got union folks, non-union folks, healthcare, IT, higher ed, all represented there. And I'm so pleased, and I know our staff is as well, to have the opportunity to work with the council to continue the new momentum we've got in the RA program in Kansas. This work really comes at a critical time in the Kansas economy. We've got this new chapter of growth that's going on right now. The last 2 years, we have topped the highest levels of new business investment that we've ever seen in the history of our state, back-to-back years. And just to use one example that you probably have heard about, less than a month ago, we announced the largest economic development win, the largest private sector investment ever in our state, which is the Panasonic project, where they're going to be producing electric vehicle batteries in DeSoto. This is a $4 billion investment by Panasonic that's going to create the 4,000 new jobs just at Panasonic, plus 4,000 jobs with the supply chain that they're bringing to Kansas. Plus, and there's more, plus you've got 16,500 jobs that are construction related just for Panasonic. So this means a lot of things. Most importantly, it means new opportunities for skilled employees to work at that site and at the supplier firms. They're going to be locating not just in Northeast Kansas, but we think throughout Kansas, throughout the state. But it's also a big challenge, preparing our workforce for these next generation jobs. And these are, a lot of these jobs are very, very high tech. I've been to Osaka, Japan to see where they produce these batteries now, and been to Reno at the Gigafactory where Tesla and Panasonic are co-located. And this is an incredibly sophisticated operation. And so it's essential that we have the registered apprenticeship program and model be part of how we can meet this new challenge and this new opportunity. So I'm really, I push that Department of Commerce needs to be aggressive, and that includes all of our divisions, particularly including the RA program. And I'm really pleased that the Apprenticeship Council is focused on the same kind of aggressive strategic vision that's going to align with everything that we're doing in commerce, and most notably the Kansas Framework for Growth, which is our economic development strategic plan that we launched a couple of years ago. So, just as an example of this, the council voted a couple of months ago, I think back in June, to approve a vision and a mission statement for the RA program. And that vision is that Kansas will be a top 25 state in registered apprenticeships by the year 2025. And for old people like me, 2025 seems like a long ways away. We're 2.5 years from that. But I know we can get there if we've got a vision that is clear, and if we've got good execution on that vision. And I know that between our staff and the council that we can get there. The Office of Apprenticeship itself, with Shonda's leadership, but also with Chastity and Donna and Tammy, it's really going through a transformational change right now to better meet the needs of our state's economy, and to really be proactive about federal opportunities, philanthropic workforce opportunities, and that nothing could make me happier. My office, Governor Kelly, the entire Kelly administration is 1,000% behind these expansion efforts that are underway right now. And that's because we know and we believe that RA opportunities strengthen the economy in urban places, in suburban places, in rural places. We've got a lot of exciting things that are underway right now. We've got a new website that's launching this fall. We've got National Apprenticeship Week Summit, which is, I think, right before Thanksgiving, November 17 or thereabouts. We've got terrific work that's going on with the Patterson Family Foundation to support growth in healthcare-related RA opportunities in our most rural counties. So there's so much that's happening. The Office of Apprenticeship is also in conversations to figure out how we can grow and expand the use of registered apprenticeship in human resources, in ag, in education, healthcare, IT, manufacturing, and construction, among others. So they're having a lot of conversations with people across the state, business leaders, community colleges, technical colleges, workforce boards, that are all around this idea of how do we strengthen the partnerships to help provide easy access to good job opportunities in Kansas. One other very exciting development, and something that I like to crow about, is that the Registered Apprenticeship Office was just selected as an apprenticeship ambassador by the U.S. Department of Labor. This is a national recognition, and it adds us to a network of apprenticeship champions, I guess, from across the country that are working to expand, diversify, and modernize registered apprenticeship to better serve workers, employers, and communities. And so I'm really proud of the work that Shonda and the whole team has done to get Kansas this recognition and really elevate us onto that national stage. So this is just the beginning. You know, we're talking about being top 25. Anybody who knows me, anybody who knows Shonda, anybody who knows Governor Kelly knows that top 25 isn't good enough. We want to be top 5 in the nation in everything that we're doing. And so this is a step toward that. And we've made a lot of progress in a short period of time, and we've got a lot more to do. So before I open it up for questions, and I do hope you have questions or comments or whatever you want to throw at me. But before we get to that, I want to put in a plug for a new effort that we're doing at the Department of Commerce to recognize partners and companies that excel in providing RA programs, RA opportunities in our state. So for the first time ever, we're going to be presenting a brand new award at our Kansas Business Awards, which are known as To the Stars, that are held in the month of October. And this award is the Apprenticeship Champions and Partners Award, to highlight a rising star in this space, to celebrate their achievements, and I think most importantly, to lift them up as a model for others to follow and to emulate. And so my ask for all of you is to help us recognize these worthy candidates and make a nomination. We need you to help spread the word. The creation of this award was a suggestion from Shonda, and I thought it was a great one. And so we did it. And that's how we operate at Commerce. If there's a good idea and there's no reason not to do it, we go for it. And but executing on this requires good nominations. So the nominations are open until this Friday at midnight, and you can go to kansascommerce.gov/celebrate. And Shonda, if you haven't already sent that out to everybody, please send that link out. So with that, that's I think the highlights from where I stand as Secretary of Commerce and Lieutenant Governor. I would love to just open it up to your questions, your comments, whatever you've got for me. So thanks so much for listening, and looking forward to the conversation here.
So please feel free to thank you, Lieutenant Governor Toland. We so appreciate you being on the call. For those of you who are on the call, please feel free to ask a question in the chat box and I can facilitate it that way, or feel free to jump off mute and ask questions that way. We'd love to have the conversation. Oh, come on. I'll start calling on people.
Well, let me start off. Lieutenant Governor, thank you so much for your time. I am Nilima Paraskar with Snap IT Solutions. I'm on the CAC Council. I just want to do a shout out to Shonda and her team. They've been doing a phenomenal job, which you already know, but I wanted to reconfirm that we are very excited to work with the team and just overall pleased with the staff you've put together.
Thanks so much, Nalima. It's great to see you, and we're so grateful that you're willing to serve on the council and to be one of these these partners who helps us tell the story of how registered apprenticeships are such a powerful tool for companies and for workers. So good to see you, my friend. Thanks for the comment. We'll see you soon.
She just had her registered apprenticeships approved by the council just this last week.
Awesome. Terrific.
It looks like Keely, you have a question?
There's Keely. Hey, Keely.
Brilliant. Good morning. Hi, Lieutenant Governor. So great to have you with us. I just want to talk money. I just like to be direct. I want to talk investments and money in registered apprenticeship. I'm, first of all, thrilled to death about our work-based learning funding that we're getting directly from the state of Kansas now. We just made our second hire in that program. So one of the things that we're going to be trying to capitalize on is using our staffing now with our high schools that we're going into more and more high schools now, and try to develop those youth pre-apprenticeships, those youth apprenticeship models, so that young people, while they're in high school, can start to get a taste for a lot of these great professions and great trades. So first of all, thank you, because I know you carried a lot of water on that. So that's wonderful. First time investment we've ever had in that regard. But that does lead me to the question of what's next. I know at least at the workforce board level, it's been really tough trying to get federal money in apprenticeship. I do hope, and Shonda promises me, that more investments from the federal government will be coming. But for whatever reason, we seem to not be as competitive in getting those grants, which begs the question, do you see, Lieutenant Governor, more funding potentially coming from the state to help support these efforts? I know for us as a workforce board, most of our staff plates are extraordinarily full, and apprenticeship is truly relationship building. It takes on the ground business services staff, people that are highly trained, working with employers to help them through that process. We want to be an intermediary. Shonda knows that. We've done our training. We're excited, but right now we're just full, and we need either some funding to help staff, and I think for those smaller companies, maybe medium-sized companies that may need a little incentive. They may need to help defray some administrative costs, at least on the front end, before they can really get an apprenticeship up and rolling. So I was just curious your thoughts on, where do you see the legislature maybe moving? Do you think we're going to get some additional state investments that could help really jumpstart some of the intermediary work that I know a lot of us want to do?
Yeah, thanks for the question, and thanks for cutting right to the bottom line, which is there have to be dollars behind this work in order for it to happen. We can have lip service, and say how great registered apprenticeships are, but if there isn't a real investment, then it's simply not considered to be as important. What we did this year was $500,000 of new money for the RA program, which was not nearly what I know some folks wanted to see. We had a multi-million-dollar request, which I love the ambition of that request, and the people are swinging for the fences. The reality for me as a manager is, I've got to look at, we have to walk before we can run. And we had a proposal that was to run an ultra marathon in 1 year. And I didn't feel like we were at a point to be able to absorb that much in new resources in a single year and have it be sustainable. So what we chose to do was make an investment that I felt like we could absorb that would get us some important wins this year, and then we build on those wins. The governor and I are fully committed to continuing to build the investments at the state level that we're making in RA. And for that matter, I mean, I can't speak for the legislature. I can only speak for the governor and myself. But I think the legislature is with us too. The registered apprenticeship program is one that's really popular with the legislature. We didn't have a big fight to be able to get this done. I mean, we had to push, but we got it done, and that gives me a lot of hope for the future. And so, the key here is you got to have the political leadership to push it, and that's what the governor did with her budget, and what I did with my budget request to the governor. And we're going to continue to push in that direction. So, and I just saw somebody just put up there, the RA staff is small but mighty, and that is absolutely right. Now, I don't want them, though, to get crushed by all the success that we're having. And so I am mindful of the need to continue to grow the staff and potentially to have incentives for employers so that we can break the ice with some of these companies. So we got to walk before we run. This is the walking year. We're walking at a pretty good clip. Next year, it's my intent and the governor's intent that we really start running. And so more to come. We've got our budget internal Department of Commerce budget conversation here in about 2 weeks, preparing for next budget year. And so you are very much at the top of my mind. The RA program is very much at the top of my mind as we go into that. I hope as well, it's sort of interesting. You mentioned, Keely, the federal funds. It's sort of counterintuitive, but the feds tend to fund states that are putting a lot of skin in the game, so the states that have money for programs tend to get more federal money, as opposed to the states that don't have any money that really need the federal money. It doesn't work that way. It's you got to invest up front as a state, and then that triggers more federal dollars, makes us more competitive. So we're thinking about leverage here and trying to get more federal dollars whenever they may come. And so we're in a building mode, and you can expect that to continue under the Kelly administration.
That's great. Thank you, Lieutenant Governor. You put to words exactly what I was feeling when we received information about that recent round of Apprenticeship Building America grants, where none of the Kansas grant proposals were approved. And when I saw of the 30 awards made nationwide, 10 of them went to only 2 states. And those 2 states were Texas and New York, who have so much money already and are already probably kicking it pretty hard with apprenticeship. So I, like you, was like, this seems counterintuitive. Kansas has a great need for, these investments, yet I see a lot of states that are constantly getting those investments, get more and more. So if leverage is what we need, then let's go find those other dollars so that we can prove to the feds we are a worthy investment in Kansas. Thank you.
Absolutely, Keely. Yeah, it's success brings success, and the feds are like anybody else. They want to bet on the right horses, and we're building a body of work in Kansas and momentum in Kansas that'll make us one of those horses. But we're playing some catch up right now. We as a state, we haven't really invested in the past, and so they're going to want to see a sustained effort, and that's what the governor and I intend to do.
It looks like we have a couple questions in the chat. One says, to meet the 2025 goal, what are your biggest needs right now to make that happen? Lieutenant Governor?
That's actually maybe a better question for Shonda. I mean, I think they're at a high level. You know, the way I view it, it's all about people to lead, and I think we got the right leadership. There's no question we have the right leadership. So very proud of Shonda and the work that she and her team have done here, and Chastity and Donna and Tammy. Like, we got a great team. We got to build that team out, though. We've got, you know, what, 30% vacancy, and so we got to fix that. So I need talent to help us get those two positions filled. The second, we need the funding to not just be stable, but to grow, and that's dependent on the legislature. And again, I feel very positive. I'm optimistic about that. And then the third piece is not about government, but it's about our private sector partners that are providing these opportunities. So, you know, that's where it all comes down to. If, you know, we can sit here in Topeka and you know, have a program, but if nobody wants to partner with us, then it's all for nothing. We have to continue to grow the number of business partners that embrace registered apprenticeship. And I don't know all the mechanics of what that takes. I do know that I'm willing to sit in front of any company and explain the value and the merit in partnering with us here. And I have sat in front of some of these companies and listened to their feedback about how we can do things better. And we have taken that and applied it. And you know, where there have been problems, we've fixed them. And so I think that's what we've really got to focus on expanding and continuing to do is grow our number of private sector partners.
I don't know that I could say it any better. Looks like Dave Mullins, you have a question?
Thank you, Shonda. Dave Mullins from Hutchins Community College. Thank you for joining us here today, Lieutenant Governor. And I really wanted to give a shout out as much as anything to Shonda and Chastity, Donna and Tammy at the state for kind of speeding things up with the approvals and so on. We've really appreciated the partnership we've got with the state and what they've been able to do. We've got a practical nursing apprenticeship going through approval, and we're expecting that'll come through soon. When talking to a number of partners about a stackable series of apprenticeships from CNA and CMA to LPN, and then our vision would be to have our LPN to RN bridge be the third apprenticeship that would stack on that. And we've just been very appreciative of the work that they've done, and a shout out to I think my apprenticeship coordinator Amy Van Winkle is on here. We've got a lot of activity going on, and as far as the money goes, that's I would just want to say out loud that that's important, and we appreciate the money. We're one of the SAEEI grant participants. We appreciate that. But really, with the companies we work with, we really downplay the money side of it. As far as, you know, if they're going to participate, we want to make sure that they're being selfish about it, right? They're doing it because they want to have employees. They want to build this pipeline, and everywhere we go, every employer we talk to, with a very rare exception, is short on people, just like we are, and just like you are at the state. We can't find enough people. And building that pipeline has been our lever that has been successful in getting more people to sign on to this. They want to see that pipeline. We have had more positive conversations about the possibility of youth apprenticeships over the last couple of months than we've ever had before, and it's based on growing that pipeline. So it's going to take all of us working together on this, but I think we do have a lot of momentum. So I just really wanted to say thank you. I don't have a particular question for you, but thanks again for your support.
Terrific. Thanks, Dave, so much. And if I didn't shout out our community college and technical college partners, I want to do that because you all are so key as the folks that had these direct relationships with companies that are in the geographies where you know people, and we can't do this work without our community college and technical college partners. So thank you. And I want to touch on one other point, then I know I'm a couple of minutes over here, but you mentioned speed. So I'm well known within the governor's cabinet as the most impatient cabinet member. I'm really, really impatient. And so I want everything done yesterday, and we're constantly looking for ways to speed things up. And our apprenticeship office team has taken that direction, and they're really speeding things through. So I want a minimum. I've said this publicly, privately, I'll say it to you. I want as little red tape as possible. I want the presumption to be a presumption of trust. I want to get out there and let's act first. And we got to be thoughtful about how we act, but let's get things done. There's a lot of urgency around this work. We got a real opportunity. This is a special time. I don't know if folks realize it. It's hard to maybe see it on a day-to-day basis, but when you think about what's happening in Kansas, we've always been kind of a middle of the pack state economically. And now last year, the state of Kansas had the most economic development, private investment by companies of any state in the country on a per capita basis. So Texas always has the most investment overall, just in pure dollar terms, but Kansas for the first time ever on a per capita basis. So we are really in a special time that creates opportunities. And so when we think of registered apprenticeships, we have to act with urgency. We have to move swiftly and get things done and not have stuff caught up in, months of approvals and red tape and all that. I hate that. So Shonda and the team know that, and they are acting accordingly. And I'm really thrilled with how we're doing things. And we're going to continue to speed it up. Right, Shonda?
Yes, absolutely. And with
Good.
that, I'm getting the notice that you are at your time limit. Thank you so much for joining us. We genuinely appreciate the time and for your leadership and your sense of urgency and the direction we're going. So thank you so much for joining us.
I really enjoyed the conversation. So thanks to everybody. Let Shonda know, and Shonda never hesitates to let me know what you need. She's a forceful advocate for the RA program, the RA world for that matter. And so we're here to help. We're doing our best, and we're grateful to everybody for your work. So thanks so much.
Thanks. Bye-bye. For those of you who want to stay on the call, we're going to do a quick sneak peek of the new website that will hopefully be launching in a few weeks, so you all have an idea of what it's going to look like. Our PR team, marketing team, were able to get this pulled together really quickly over the last couple of days, so I'm super excited about it. The web address will be the same. Our front page will have this beautiful rotating banner up here. We'll be able to really showcase our mission and our vision statement. We'd love to include some authentic photography of apprenticeship programs that are happening across the state of Kansas. So please feel free to send in some of those great high quality photos. The other thing is really enhancing our transparency in terms of registered apprenticeship. So right on the front page, we're going to be tracking and updating on a regular basis